G'day there, Signets and Swanlings. This is Noddy from a Bevy of Bloods, a fan podcast of the Sydney Swans Football Club. I'm joined here by another red and white tragic, my fellow member of the O'Reilly rabble, Chris. Today we're bringing you a quick Bevy, a weekly bonus series in which we have a quick 10-minute chat about all things Bloods. Chris O, can you explain to the punters how a quick Bevy works?
Sure thing, Noddy. Each week we're going to be raising 5 questions to each other about the Swannies or footy in general, and we're going to give ourselves 45 seconds to answer those questions. Nice and short and sharp and pretty easy for us to understand. So with that in mind, Noddy, first question to you. Over the off-season, there was a massive trade between the Swans and Port. Aliir for Hickey. Noddy, in your opinion, which team won that trade?
Okay, so I followed this very quickly. I made a spreadsheet on paper and points value. I thought the Swans lost. I thought we were giving way too much for a ruckman that hadn't shown very much. In fact, I think we were just bringing him for depth. I don't think anyone realised the performance he would string together in the first 11 rounds of 2021. He's blown everyone away. He's elite for effective kicks. He's probably our best midfielder when he plays. He's got a PCL that apparently is fine, broken. So I think maybe the Swans are just ahead. Although Aliir's got another 3, he's at the prime of his career, 4 years. So he's looking very strong down there for Port, and Port are going to go deep. I don't know, almost equal, maybe the Swans.
Oh, okay, got in there just in time. All right, I'm going to probably go say that it was a trade that no one expected to happen. I was super sad to lose Aliir. I think we were both just devastated to go, who is this guy we're getting in, this journeyman? We didn't know anything about him for what we knew, that he passed through a lot of teams and no one had really picked him up. And why would the 4th team that he plays at be the best team that he plays at? And it's been exactly that. We've kind of gotten the absolute best out of Hickey. Is this going to be a phenomenon year for him? Is he ever going to be like this again? Bro, I don't know. We don't know, right? But as it stands right at this very, very moment, I believe the Swans have won that trade. But it's touch. It's touch, man. Like, you don't really know who gives. Ask me again in 3 years' time. It might be a different story altogether. With
perfectly, 45 seconds, mate. My little beer sound didn't work there. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
All right. Question number 2, mate.
Mm-hmm.
Are Swans fans too quiet? Go.
Short answer is yes. Generally, but I don't know what it is about this season. The last couple of weeks that we've been to games and we both sit together at the O'Reilly stand, the games have been louder and better. And I don't know whether that's because we've got the fellas around us. Maybe we're a bit closer to where we were before. We're kind of away from everyone, but it just seems like in the last few weeks, the crowd is kind of believing again. I think last season was a bit of a weird season for us. And the season before that, obviously last season was a weird season for everyone, but last season before that, it was a season where we weren't expecting too much. We saw a lot of greats kind of leave the joint. So, but this season, everyone's hungry. Ooh, 5 seconds. Everyone's super hungry to watch the Swans play. Everyone's excited about the youngins. So I think it is getting louder, but generally we could do better.
Okay, mate.
Over to you.
All right. Okay, so I think you're alluding to the fact that my brother has joined our group this year, and yes, he is. He's adding a certain amount of decibels to the group around us, but that's good. Like, he's very passionate, and we all I think enjoy that about him. I think over the years, so I'm a New South Welshman. I grew up playing rugby. You go to the rugby games, and they're not that loud. They're not that exciting live. So anything more than that is like fantastic. And going to the AFL since I was a young kid as well, it was always the sport where you could scream and yell, but you compare that to the Victorians, the South Australians, the Western Australians, and I think we're still a notch off. So yeah, I'd love to see more singing and shouting and screaming. We do have the clackers, which I know pisses off all the other states, but yeah, let's keep it up. Let's be louder.
Awesome. And on the same vein, next question. We play a song every, is it third quarter we play it? I think Sweet Caroline.
First.
Is it first? Anyway.
Yeah, I think it's first. Yeah.
Sweet Caroline by the great Neil Diamond gets played every single week at the SCG to rile up the crowd. Noddy, how do you feel about that?
Okay, so it's one of these songs where I don't really know the background of it. I think you've got more of an idea than I do, but I don't love it. But when the song comes on, I can't help but sing along because it's just one of those songs. But I would question the history of where it came from. If it's nothing that's intrinsically Sydney, I'd say release and let's get better songs. I think you're probably going to touch on it, but like surely there's like a local band that we could get behind that has like a bit of an anthem feel, maybe some words like Bloods or We Love You Sydney, or I don't know if a song like that exists, but we need something like that. I think would be better for watching the Swans if we're going to build a tradition. That's my point.
All right. I am entirely with you there. Look, the background of it is that the Boston Red Sox have been playing that song at Fenway for like since the 80s or something. It's insane, and they play 162 games a year. All of them at home, obviously, but it's a long-standing tradition there, and it's a great song. And I get why we want to play it, and I get why the crowd gets into it. But it's not our song. It's not our history. Sydney's, it's a relatively young city, but it's got a lot of history in it. You know what I mean? Like the Swans are a relatively young team, but we've got a lot of history. We want to celebrate it, especially with our friends down in South Melbourne there. So I think there's plenty of good Sydney bands. Rather, we've got Midnight Oil, Mental as Anything, Cruel Sea, AC/DC, Ice House. Come on, the list is huge. Surely we can find a song that's catchy that we can replace it with, and I think we should do that quickly.
All right. So question number 4.
Number 4 for you, I think.
Number 4. Okay, I'm going to ask you this one, mate. Ready? Okay. Buddy, King Bud. Can he reach 1,000 goals in 2021? Go.
I would have. If you'd asked me at the beginning of the year, I would have said no. I would have felt that his injuries kind of held him back. If you'd asked me 3 or 4 weeks ago, I would have said no again, because the injuries kind of seemed to have caught up with him a little bit, and he kind of got shut down by Stephen May there for that 1 week, and I was like, oh, what's going on here? And then he comes out against Carlton and snaps 3, and he looks in this great form that and he has this brilliant pieces. So I was originally saying absolutely no next year. I'm saying now probably not, but if I'm going to have to waver, I can't sit on the fence. I'm going to say early next year is when we'll be storming the ground to jump on his back for that big 1,000. Over to you.
Perfect 45 seconds there, by the way, mate. I couldn't even get my alarm out in time. Okay. I'm going to say yes. Let's do it. Let's go with it. Okay, so he needs 4 more goals to beat Jack Titus. So he's 966 currently. He needs to get 4 more to equal the 6th highest ever. He needs 5 to leapfrog him and become 6th. So he needs, I think, roughly about 2.5 goals a game if we play 13 more games. So that would include the rest of the home and away season and 1 week of finals. So hopefully we continue form and at least get into finals, 1 or 2 rounds. And he manages to kick 2.5 goals a game. He kicked that bag of 6 against the Dockers at Optus. He loves Optus. Let's just keep playing at Optus, except for the game where he is due to get the 1,000. We have that at the SCG. All right.
Yeah. Question for you. I know you're a big fan of the trade period. I know and the draft, and I know you keep all over it. This year, could it be the best draft haul we have ever had? Logan, Braeden, Errol. Over to you.
All right. So I can't actually remember off the top of my head when the draft system came in. It must have been like at least from the 90s, maybe even earlier, because they might have carried it over from the VFL. But if we just look at the year 2000 onwards, really the years that stand out are 02. It was McVeigh and Malcheski. 09 is Rowan, Jetta and Sam Reed. 11 is Tom Mitchell and Cunningham. 12 is Jake Lloyd and Rampy. Dean Towers was in that one as well. No. And then Jones, Hewitt, Aliir in 13. And then it kind of just goes on from there. You've got Heaney and Mills and then Florent and Hayward. And yeah, look, I think with the potential they've shown already, this could be our best draft year ever.
All right.
I don't know. Am I early? I don't know.
Got in there just in
early,
time. Bang.
Early. Obviously injuries pending and
the caveats.
Yeah, all the caveats.
Look, it's hard for me. I don't really keep a track of it, but saying all those names and addressing all of those names that we see there, it's obviously hindsight makes a massive difference.
Yeah.
But you get excited about these kids. Like we all know how good Gordon is already, and you already see how much spark that Braeden Campbell has immediately. and you go, what is going on? And then you just get the vision that, you know, Logan McDonald's is going to be as good as everyone's saying he's going to be, even if he is 80% of that. He is an incredible player. And so you go, is it the best that we may ever have? Yeah, probably. Like, it's looking good. The next 5 years are looking really, really fun. And I'm looking forward. So I think it's a great time to be a Swans fan. Cool. Made it under.
Perfect timing again. Yeah, you did.
Awesome.
Nailed it.
That's our 5 questions for this week. We're always keen to hear other Swans fans. So send your thoughts and any of the answers that you think that we've totally schnitzeled up today. Shoot them over to us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or wherever you would see this. And make sure, throw us some questions. We'd love to hear from you. We'd even love to maybe get a couple of you on to answer some of these questions. So until then, up the Bloods, can the Swannies.
Can you Swannies?